Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's HFTP virtual education session, Pushing the Limits in Hotel Security, Redefining Guest Keycard Safety and Convenience. While potential intruders continue seeking out new ways to cause harm to hotels and their guests, security access providers utilizing the latest advances in keycard technology are providing businesses with the means to stay a step ahead. Newer credential storage options are providing the heightened data encryption standards that today's hotel industry urgently needs. This session will demonstrate which credential technologies are obsolete, posing a risk to hoteliers, their staff, and their guests. It will also detail how recent advancements have created data encryption protocols that are almost impossible to break, are capable of providing additional cases beyond access control, and are able to integrate with a property's existing infrastructure. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Richard and Tanja.
Thank you very much, Brittany, for the introduction. And welcome, everyone. I'm very pleased to be here. I'm Richard Eastburn. I head up the product management team for Vingcard. And as part of my role, it's been a pleasure working with NXP to bring to the market the latest secure, low-cost, high-volume guest card credential. So, Tanja.
Yeah, thank you, Richard. Thank you, Brittany, and hello, everyone. I'm happy to see so many people attending. So my name is Tanja Leimenstoll. I'm working for NXP. I'm based in Hamburg in Germany, and I'm the marketing manager for MyFair solutions. And I'm happy here to present our latest guest card standard that we recommend together with Richard, and talking about security in the hospitality industry.
Thank you.
So I hand it back to Richard.
It's great to be here with you. And I think before we start talking about hang on, next slide. We've got hopefully a great agenda packed for you today to go through why we need a new generation of keycards, why keycards evolve, and why we've developed support and compatibility with the new keycard from NXP. And as part of that, I just want to take everyone on a little bit of a journey as to know how things have evolved and why things have evolved over time. And as part of that, taking people back to when the first recodable door lock was actually invented.
Our story began in 1974, when news of a tragedy reached Norwegian lock engineer Tor Sarnes. His favorite American singer, Connie Francis, had been attacked by an intruder in her hotel room. Tor couldn't believe that this had happened. He resolved there and then to invent a door opening system that would provide a unique key for every hotel guest. His invention was Vingcard, and it changed the whole lock industry. For decades to come, hotel guests all over the world could finally feel safe and secure when they arrived at their destinations. Vingcard L-Safe has been an industry pioneer and world-leading brand for 40 years. We now serve over 5 million hotel guests every day. The world is changing rapidly, and we are evolving with it. Building on our legacy, continuing to make people safe and secure wherever they want to go.
And going back to the 1970s nicely leads into how computational power has increased over that period of time as well. And when we look back to even the 1980s, the computers that were available then have been dwarfed now by smartphone technology and the computational power that is available in a smartphone. So of course, over that period of time, the ability for computers to decrypt technology, to decrypt ciphers, things like that, has also increased dramatically. So the need to create ever greater and ever more secure ways of storing data, transferring data, transmitting data has needed to be evolved. But something that many people probably don't realize is that the first cipher, a very simple cipher, way of encrypting a message, was actually invented by Julius Caesar. So encrypting messages and encrypting data has been around for centuries. But no, it has also evolved a lot over that period of time. And people will recognize things like the Enigma machine, which was invented in 1918, was cracked in 1932, but it remained in different forms until computer-based encryption took over. And that journey of computer-based encryption actually was started by IBM, obviously a very old logo of IBM there, but they started a crypto group back in the 1970s. And they designed a block cipher to protect data. They realized that that the data they were storing needed to be protected. And they released back in 1973 the data encryption standard, which later became known as triple DES. And it remained in use until it was cracked in 1997, which was then replaced by the Advanced Encryption Standard, or AES, as we know it today. So AES isn't something that's brand new, but it is a well-known, well-used, and very secure method of encrypting data. If we look at, going back to that first way of changing access to a door lock using punch key cards back in 1974, they have also evolved quite a lot. We went through a period of using magstripe. We even went through a brief period of using chip-based technology, but realized that the chips and the way of reading them didn't last very long. So it was a very short-lived period of time. And we then settled as an industry on RFID keycards. Highly convenient, didn't have the problems that magstripe or chip-based technology gave, where because everything was using contact readers, the reader performance would degrade very quickly over time. Solid state readers with RFID give consistent reading for a far longer period. And also, the evolution of mobile access from 2014 and then later wallet-based access control. But now, all keycards are not the same. And RFID keycards have evolved with the ever-increasing need for data protection. We have loyalty cards, which can be limited use, single applications, high volume. They tend to be the low-cost guest card credentials that we use. We want something that is going to be efficient at securing the information for the guest key card, but not too expensive that it becomes prohibitive for hoteliers to use. Then we have the high capacity key cards, which have longer validity. They tend to be normally for staff cards. They have higher capacity and they can do multiple things. So they could be a shared card used for both opening a door lock, but also charging to a room or accessing a vending machine or a parking lot. And the methods of encryption over these different types of cards is also different, and over time has become different. We've got things like insecure technology, such as MyFair Classic. We've got deprecated technology, such as MyFair Ultralight C, which is the triple DES platform that is based on, which is deprecated. And then the secure technology using AES, which is in technology like MyFair DesFire, MyFair Plus, and now as a low-cost credential, the MIFARE Ultralight AES. But hacking has evolved over time, and when we look back, and I go back to London here, familiar to me being from the UK, and they launched the Oyster card for the London Transport Network back in 2003 using MIFARE technology, and there was a lot of publicity around in 2008 when this became compromised and cards were able to be copied. And subsequently, MIFARE DESFire was introduced, so that it replaced classic cards from 2009, so that again that technology was secured, and that technology again is based on AES, so it's a secure protocol for securing the data on that card. So I suppose before we go on now, Brittany, it's probably time to do one of your polls.
Absolutely. All right, everyone, you should see the first polling question up on your screen. If you would please respond true or false. We'll give everyone about 25-30 seconds. And again, the question is, do MIFARE Classic cards offer a secure guest key card? Just a simple true or false. We'll give everyone 10 more seconds. I see some answers still coming in. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. There you go, Richard. There's the responses. Yep.
Yeah, thank you. An interesting 83 people have 83% of people, have correctly identified that it is an insecure card. And MIFARE Classic is widely used. It has been widely used in many industries, hospitality industry included, and it is an insecure technology. And there are other card technologies that can provide security to the data that's placed on the card. And when we talk about hacking, hacking tools have really evolved over time, and as computational power has increased, so have the devices that computational power can be built in have also reduced in size. So we now have devices, and lots of people will have seen or heard of the Flipper device. They have reduced in size, they've increased in power, and they've also become much more affordable and easier to use. So the fact that historically we've had to be, people to hack a card technology have had to be very knowledgeable in some computer processes and how to do that. Now it's made much more simple. So that's why increasing the security on the key card is also very, very important. So I think, Tanja, now I'm handing over to you for a while.
Yeah, thank you, Richard. I hope everyone can hear me clearly. So yeah, as presented, both of our companies, so Vingcard and NXP, we consider security as very important, and you just saw how easily you can maybe acquire a tool like this Flipper tool on Amazon, and you can easily hack a product or hotel Keycard. So Richard and myself, or our companies, both share the same goal, that we want to make hotels safer and more capable of adapting to the evolving market trends and priorities such as security. So we want to show you how we have implemented and considered security in our latest credential in the MIFARE Ultralight AES card as the next guest card credential standard. But before I come to this, or we come to this, yeah, here is a few considerations. So since security is generally very crucial, also external authorities are recommending to move to higher security encryption standards. So here you see some examples. So you have NIST. NIST stands for the US National Institute of standards and technology. You have also the German, where I'm based, the German authority. It's called BSI, German Federal Office for Information and Security. And another example is the French ANSSI, French National Agency for Security of Information System. They're all recommending to move from TripleDES to IS. So IS, that also Richard presented before, means Advanced Encryption Standard, and it was introduced by NIST initially in 2008 for governmental products, so like passports and ID cards. And now it's generally the recommended specification for encryption of electronic data, as it's offering really state-of-the-art protection. So IS has a key length of 128 bytes, and it brings the RFID key card or the hotel card, if you want, to the next level of protection against attack vendors. So as you saw previously, you can acquire these tools and you can break the older mechanism quite easily, like the Crypto1 authentication method. And you don't need, as Richard said, a very technical deep knowledge to do so. So IS authentication allows to protect the data to increase security and restrict the access to the user memory. So what does it mean for hotels? Looking at the hotel key card. So the hotel key card is really the starting point for hotel security. It protects the access to different areas and rooms. And when a guest travels, whether it's leisure or private, they really want to feel secure and relaxed. And they don't want to worry about security on or unauthorized access to private areas. So also security is important for the hotel reputation. The hotel owners want to be protected, right, from the cost and the damages that can happen if you have criminal activities and unauthorized access or theft or vandalism in the room. So our latest product, and now I come to what we have implemented. So our latest product, the MIFA Ultralight IS, so we call it even IS, is the first product in our ultralight family that comes with IS and supports the need for higher security. And we have also this product, and this is then the next slide, we have it also CC certified. So why CC? What is CC? So CC stands for Common Criteria. So since in NXP we have a very strong focus on security, we are producing a lot of products or microchips for governmental products like passport and so on. So we have implemented IS in our portfolio very early. And we also decided to have the Ultralight IS CC certified. So CC stands for Common Criteria for Information Technologies and Security Evaluation. So why IS, what I presented to you beforehand, the authentication is more focused on the encryption itself. CC is more focusing on other security matters like how the keys are stored, how is the layout of the product, how is the product implemented. So CC is an international agreement that provides a set of standards, testing processes, and documentation standard that is widely recognized as the leading standard. And the objective was to replace the national method for security evaluation and to come up with a common criteria that is applied and recognized internationally. That's why it's called Common Criteria. So this is, the members are from the EU, from US, Australia, UK, and parts of Asia. So on the right side, and to finish on this slide, you see the different levels that you can have. Sorry, no, can you just stay a second on the slide? No, I just wanted to mention that there are different EAL. So EAL stands for Evaluation Assurance Levels. So there are different levels, 1 to 7. And depending on the use case, so how you use a certain chip card, it makes sense to have it tested for a certain security level. higher EAL does not necessarily mean a higher level of security than a lower EAL. It's just because they have different functional features in the security targets. So now, thank you, Richard. We can come to the next slide because I wanted to now, I mean, we highlighted now the EAS and the different authorities. We highlighted the CC, and this overview gives you, shows you our MIFARE portfolio. So our products, our credentials, and the different security levels, AS, and where we have also common criteria. You see this on the right side with the sticker. Where we have also different common criteria certifications. So MIFARE-based contactless keycards are widely used in hospitality since several decades. I mean, Richard showed the timeline, right? So it's quite a while, over 15 years and longer, that MIFARE credentials are used. We are very proud that every day we can say millions of hotel guests use our technology worldwide. I just traveled to Latin America privately, and I even checked then also there which keys I used, and it was also MIFARE. So yeah, so here you see it also just showing again different families. So on the left side you see our ultralight family, and this is the family that we use for limited use, where like a hotel guest card where you just need to enter maybe once. And here you see that we newly introduced the AAS now also to this limited use portfolio. Then in the middle, you see our product portfolio, which is more for extended use. I think this is not so much used in the hospitality area. And then on the right side, you see also our portfolio that is for multi-application. So here you have products that you might be familiarized with or not, which are the DESFi 83 or the MIFARE Plus 82. And here you see also they have a higher CC certificate because they're used really for a longer time, and maybe even for staff cards where you have access to different areas. So just in a nutshell, or to summarize the slides, so you see that yeah, we streamlined really our portfolio that we have now IS also everywhere. So from really limited use application to multi-application products. And then what we now really wanted to position on the next slide for recommend as the latest new guest card credential in the ultralight IS, because it's a cost-effective solution. It's for single and limited use RFID guest cards, and as presented, it really comes with a high level of security. So it has the AS encryption, cryptography, and the CC certificate, and it offers enhanced security features, like, for instance, key diversification that increases privacy and safety during each guest stay. So yeah, we have a few launches already. So we launched this product last year. We ramped already in a few areas. So some examples are in event ticketing, also in smart home. But this, and this is why we are so proud also today, this is really the first time together with Vingcard that we launch it in the hospitality sector to make the sector also more secure. And now I hand back to Richard to show how yeah, Vingcard has implemented MIFARE in their portfolio.
Thank you very much, Tanja. That was a great journey on keycards. So if I look at then how we have positioned those keycards within our systems that we provide, we've actually produced a security pyramid where we take through from obviously discontinued technologies at the bottom that we encourage everybody to move away from, to then go to the more secure, as we call it, a basic short stay guest card, MIFARE Ultralight AES, and then through to the advanced cards that like the MIFARE Plus card that we can use for multiple applications, that provides a greater level of security, up to the MyFair card as well. What we've also done on the next slide is kind of overlaid that common criteria onto our pyramid, so that we can sort of demonstrate where we see the security evolving. As Tanja said, we don't use the MyFair Desfire Lite or the MyFair Plus SE. We use the MyFair Plus EV2. The reason for that is the storage capacity there needs to be a little bit greater for some of the multiple applications that we have. So hopefully with doing that, we also demonstrate how we embed the different levels of security into the different card applications that we have as well. But I think now, Brittany, you have another poll for everybody.
Real quick, before that poll, we have a question kind of on this topic. Has an official EOL date been set for the lower security cards that are still available?
I guess that's a question for both of us. And from our point of view, we know that there are multiple systems in hotels that need to read in certain applications data from cards. It's not just the technology that we're providing, and the technology that we provide, we can upgrade pretty much any of our locks from 2010. They're now able to have a firmware upgrade to be compatible with AES, but there are also other potential readers that would need to be upgraded to either read AES or the MyFair Plus EV2. MyFair Plus was introduced back a long time ago. I think it was 2016 that we introduced it. Tanja may know when they introduced it, but we introduced it as a secure method for staff cards and for the multi-application cards. So multi-application is where we would use something like parking or vending, which before that was put onto a MyFair Classic card because it had the capacity to do that, whereas an ultralight card wouldn't have the capacity to act in several different systems within a property. So we have to be mindful that we need to support the industry in moving to secure technology. I think we're, as an organization, we're committed to that, just like NXP. And we realize it's a journey. It's a journey that, door locks can't be reprogrammed overnight, and other dependent systems like car parks or vending or tills, likewise, are not going to have their technology upgraded overnight. So I think it's something that we need to discuss with properties, and our sales teams can discuss that with properties on a case-by-case basis. But our goal will be not to support insecure technology in the future, because I think any security system is only as good as the weakest point, and if we can remove weaker points, then we're going to have an overall a more secure solution. Tanja, I don't know whether you have anything to sort of add from your side.
No, that was a good summary.
With that then, Richard, I'm going to go ahead and shoot out the second polling question real quick before you move on. Everyone should see the second poll question on their screen. What encryption are you currently using in your key cards? There's a few different options, so please choose the one that applies for you, and we'll give everyone about 30 seconds to respond to this. We'll give everyone about another 10 seconds. And just a reminder, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to drop them in the chat and our speakers will be happy to answer them. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close that question. You should see the results, Richard.
Yeah, thank you. That's interesting results, and I think it does show that there is an awareness of security. There's only 15% of respondents that use a MyFair Classic card, so I think that's a positive thing, because that's the least secure of the technologies that are available for key cards. So I think that's really positive, and I think hopefully as we introduce MyFair Ultralight AES, we'll see people move to that key card, and also we'll see the insecure technologies being replaced by secure technologies throughout the industry. And that brings me nicely to when do we launch? Well, we actually launched the compatibility of MyFair AES this month, so it is available in all of our software solutions now. As I said before, there are some firmware that needs to be upgraded just to be able to encrypt and decrypt the new AES Ultralight keycards. But I think it's a fantastic journey to have been on with NXP and to get to this point. I think before we move on to our questions and answers, there's one final poll for everybody.
One last one. All right, this one is prioritizing the following security measures for your property by assigning a number 1 to 4, with 1 being the highest priority. So you should see a chart on your screen to do so. And we'll give everyone a little bit more time to lock in their answers. So again, 1 is being highest priority, 4 is being lowest priority out of those 4 options being shown on your screen right now. Another 10 seconds or so, I still see some individuals submitting answers. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this poll and share the results, Richard.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and I think that's really interesting. I mean, the even spread between front desk system, electronic locks, and keycard credentials is fairly even as a number 1 priority. Hardware edging slightly ahead, but there's very little in it, and I suppose that does show the awareness that a security system is only as good as the weakest point, and you've got to have a secure front desk system, a secure lock, and a secure credential, and the 3 go hand in hand. So I think that now brings us to our question and answer session. If anybody has any further questions, you'll see both my contact details and Tanya's contact details on the screen if anybody does have any questions that they want to pose to us afterwards.
Yes, Ken, the recording will be available by end of day today for you to be able to share with your team members. Richard, it looks like we have a question from Jeff on how cost effective are the keys?
It's a very good question, and I mean, I would also then come back and say it's how you compare it, because if we compare a secure technology to an insecure technology, security has an increased cost. There is not a huge cost differential between the cards on the market that are secure credentials, but when we get to a launch and the introduction of a new technology, we also have a far lower volume at the start, and I think even from NXP's standpoint, the volume that they will see of this technology will increase, as they've said, as Tanja said, as it's introduced to other markets, the ticketing industry as well as the transport industries. So we expect that as the volume increases, the costs will stabilize, but it won't be, if we look at a home having a secure key lock that can't be copied, that can't be broken into easily, is more expensive than just putting a set of door handles on the door. And I would take the same similarity with the ease of which some of the insecure key cards can be compromised today.
We have another question from Dan. There have been articles relating to counterfeit keys. How can you identify what is genuine MyFair versus a counterfeit?
I don't know whether you can take that question, Tanja. I know that NXP has done a lot of work in the background in
yeah, we have the
preventing
possibility, we have an originality. Hope you can hear me. We have an originality check that you can implement and the tech info app. So there are some possibilities.
One more
If you
question.
want to have further details, I mean, we can also come back or write an email to you on the implementation and so on.
Awesome. And one more question I have is, how much more expensive is the AES card than the ultralight EV1 in percentage?
That's a very specific question. It's very low percentage increase from the cost of the EV1 card. There's different processes involved in some of the manufacturing, so the technology itself might be more expensive, but the finished product is not that different. And we, as a company, have taken the decision that we want to offer a secure keycard credential at the obviously the best price we can.
Another question, is there any possibility new technology upcoming by doing staff and guest access key cards by one single card category? Most of the Middle East customers are asking for this option.
We actually have that today. It's just the capacity on the card. Normally a staff card would need a greater capacity than a guest card because it's storing a lot more information there. We may be passing information in two directions from a door lock as well. So there's many reasons why you'd want a staff credential to be different to a guest credential. Because of the increase in capacity, it then also increases the cost. So the chip price in for example, a 4K MyFair Plus card is much more expensive than the chip cost of a 128 byte AES key card.
Yeah, I can also only confirm because the chip is totally different. I mean, you can of course use a Plus for instance, plus EV2 for both. Yeah, we made it on purpose. I mean, the ultralight is really a streamlined portfolio for single use and cost effective. So it's hard to combine those. And I understood also it's a very dedicated application. So, I mean, we are happy if you move your whole portfolio to the plus EV2, but I think this is not sustainable.
Yeah, and I think also adding to that, actually, one of the things that we have in a more complex keycard encryption, and the staff keycards have other protections in there than a guest card with an AES, on-site AES card. It takes longer to decrypt the information, the data string. So it actually gives a slightly longer reading distance, reading time on a more secure card because it takes longer to decrypt it. So the ultralight AES gives that good balance between the reader speeding and the security that's needed, bearing in mind that a guest card is normally only able to open some common doors and the guest room itself.
Wonderful. And to follow up that, are there different capacities for the ULAES? I seem to remember the ULEV1 being offered at 56B and 144B.
Yeah, we're using the ultralight AES at 144 byte.
Yeah, and we don't offer different capacity. I mean, that's correct. The ultralight one has 48 byte or 128 byte. So we do have these two options. But the ultralight AES, we have just done memory size.
And Jeff says we are in the process of changing our lock system and would like advice on the use of this MyFair ASE card.
Okay, yeah, typo AES card, but yeah, I mean, more than happy to take that offline with you, Jeff. My email's on the screen. I can loop you in with the correct team to ensure that when you do go live with new locks, that you can make sure that you've got AES keycards.
When advising cards for staff use, how to distinguish between NXP MyFair plus EV2 versus Desfire EV3? What are the benefits between these two different cards?
You want me?
Yeah, I'll let you do that one.
These are two different families. I mean, the Desfire has a file structure, the product. So like on a desktop, right? You have different files and you can set up different applications per file. And the MyFair Plus is the successor of the MyFair Classic, and it comes in a block structure. So it's completely different technical implementation. And the MyFair Plus you can use in two levels, so level 1 and level 3. So you can use it in a classic mode, which we don't recommend, obviously, but and then you can switch it to a IIS mode, so level 3. So yeah, it was built really to help the people coming from a classic to migrate to higher security. But it's maybe, I don't know, in the technical information, I mean, I'm not a product manager, it's not as flexible as a file structure product, a Desfire. I would say so, but Richard, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we use the Plus card because it's generally from our point of view, we need a single application card for a staff card, and if we're using a multi-application card, it's on a simple structure, as you say, which suits the Plus card. The Plus card gives the same common criteria rating as Desfire. Yes, we have compatibility for both, and those of Desfire generally is used by other industries than hospitality, but we merge into that industry at the same time.
Wonderful. Any other questions from the audience? And again, this recording will be available via a link that I will email out by, I know everyone's in different time zones and locations, but by my end of day, so you will receive it. Tanja, Richard, anything else to add for the audience?
No, I think it's been very interesting. Thank you everyone for joining, and more than happy, as we say, for either of us to answer any questions you may have.
Looks like we have one more actually. Recently came up with a property and would like to ask if you can write NFC tag information on AES 144B card next to standard guest door lock information.
As I said before, the way that the ultralight family of cards is designed, they're designed as low capacity cards and single application cards. So and the way that they're implemented is that it's to access the guest room. They can be used for other applications on a property. For example, when we talk about certain confirmation at point of sale tills, there can be a link to read the unique identifier from the card, the UID, and we can pass over via a PMS integration the UID that we have for the room that we've encrypted that card to. So you can close the loop using the UID rather than actually placing information onto the card, which, because of the way the card is both structured and implemented, isn't possible. We would look at doing that on a MyFair Plus card.
Cool. Well, if anyone has any other questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Again, be sure to jot down Richard and Tanja's email. They are here for any further questions or advice. As a reminder, yes, I will be sending out the link for this recording so everyone can refresh their memory with the information that we learned today. If you are collecting your continuing education credits, please note that you will need to self-report your credit for this webinar. An email with the CPE credit certification information will be sent out within 24 hours. Please save this email for your records. It will be coming from my email, brittany.king@hftp.org. So if you happen to not receive it or you lose it, please reach back out to me for another copy. And that concludes today's broadcast. Thank you so much, Tanja and Richard, for joining us today. It was a great pleasure.
Thank you very much for hosting. It's been great joining.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.